guided notes with transversals. I'm just going to go back over a couple of basic things and then we'll get into a couple of practice problems. A transversal is any line that intersects two other lines. When you have a line crossing through two parallel lines, you get 8 angles. You can count them all right here. I've numbered them off. So that would be 8 different angles are formed by a transversal. Right here, looking at 1 and 5, stair-stepping down, those would be corresponding angles. Angles 5 and 4, looking on the inside of the parallels and alternate interior angles. 1 and 8, on the exterior of the parallels, alternating, that would be alternate exterior angles. Angles 3 and 5 on the same side of the transversal, both on the inside, would be same side interior angles. Corresponding angle, well, let's look at this. When parallel lines are crossed by a transversal, the following relationships hold. Not necessarily if it's not parallel. Corresponding angles are congruent. Alternate interior angles are congruent. Alternate interior angles are congruent. And same side interior angles are supplementary. Alright, knowing relationships can help us find missing angles. So let's look in here. We are given one of the 8 angles formed by a transversal. We have that the obtuse angle is 133 degrees, so we can go ahead and match that up with all obtuse angles that we see. The first angle, easy to see, right across from 133 would be R, so we can mark that at 133 degrees. We know that S is alternate interior with R, so let's go ahead and mark that at 133 degrees. Q is the supplement of R, so we need to do 180 degrees minus 133 degrees to figure out the supplement. If I've done my math correctly, I believe that is 47. So we'll go ahead and put 47 in for P, for Q, and for all the acute angles formed by the intersection. And then I left out one obtuse angle down here, V, which is alternate exterior with 133 degrees, congruent, so we'll mark that at 133 as well. Okay, sometimes you're not given degree measures, sometimes you're given relationships. So you see here, we've got a pair of corresponding angles and some algebraic relationships that we are holding true. I'm going to go ahead and work over here, have some space underneath over here. You can work it wherever you like. I see that these are corresponding angles. That means they're congruent. So I can set these two expressions equal to each other. I can say 2x minus 61 has to equal x plus 3. Solving this, I would go ahead and subtract x on both sides. So I would do 2x minus x, giving me just x. Go ahead and drop down the negative 61 equals 3. I would go ahead and add 61 on both sides, making that be x equals 64. If I plug that back into the expression, right here it says x plus 3 equals that angle. Well, we know that x is 64, so I'm going to go ahead and just do 64 plus 3 to figure out what this missing angle is. That's 67. So we know that the acute angle in this relationship is 67. So let's go ahead and fill that in for Q, V, and that's just about it. So Q and V will both be 67 degrees. Now, on the other hand, the obtuse angles would be supplementary to 67. So I need to do 180 minus 67. Let's see, if I did it mentally, I'd probably get it wrong, so let me write it out. 180 minus 67, that would be 13 degrees. 113 degrees. Whoops. 113 degrees seems right. So we'll go ahead and fill in all of the other angles, the obtuse set, at 113 degrees. Alright. Now, I'm going to go ahead and leave the independent practice on the bottom for you to figure out. Hopefully that's no trouble at all. You will need to set up some different sorts of relationships for these. These are not necessarily congruent angles, more supplementary probably. Good luck.